John?
Yep.
Get ready for this presentation.
Featured presentation. Okay. This will be fun. Everyone see it? Okay. Alright. So, yeah, my speech topic is what movie hacking is versus how it looks in reality, and kind of how it's portrayed in the news versus how it actually is. So we can begin. Hacking. It's a scary word. If you've paid any attention to the media or any movies as of late, you'll know it's a very real threat that anyone could face at any time. But along with that knowledge comes a certain misconception. And that misconception comes in two main different forms. And for one, how hackers are portrayed in the media, and how hacking itself is shown. Alright. Hacking is, well, much different. In reality, it's much more tangible than what you can see in movies. But why should you listen to me? Well, for one thing, my major is computer information systems, which has a lot to do with hacking and the security portion of it. And secondly, it's a personal interest of mine that I've spent countless hours looking into myself. So with that, let's go into each of these points just a little bit further. Hacking in Hollywood is often pretty crazy looking. And you can kind of see here, it's an intangible mess of graphics and just useless information that doesn't really exist. And in reality, it looks a bit more like this, where it's just kind of standard, very boring layout, and you're just plugging information in and going. But why do media and movies portray it so differently? Well, Eric Lemmer wrote in his 2014 article about why this seems to happen. Well, real-life hacking is boring. Movies and news should be more entertaining, and frankly, which hacking is not. Now, speaking of hackers themselves, there are a few misconceptions about what they actually look like and what they do. And for one thing, they're not all evil. They're not all out there trying to steal your credit card information or your social security number. In fact, for some, it's a legal and very moral career path. But what dictates the difference between the two? Well, in 2014 in June of this year, Computer Hope kind of helped write out the differences. And unlike most ethics, they're pretty cut and dry. For one thing, you have to have express, often written, consent of the company to go in and try to penetrate their network, try to find any holes. Secondly, you have to respect the privacy and the confidential information of the company. You don't want someone going in there and looking at all your card information, anything like that. Thirdly, when you leave, don't leave any holes that any hackers can come back in the future and exploit. And lastly, you let the people know that there's an issue, or there just wouldn't be any point. So to conclude, hacking in real life is much different than it is in the news and the media. It's way more boring and way more complex than it's really described as And secondly, it's just not all evil, and is a valid career choice for some. So next time the news tries to scare you with telling them that hackers are trying to steal your credit card information, hopefully now you have a little more knowledge about it, and just know that every hacker, no matter how good, can always be caught. Thank you guys for tuning in.